Hello you guys, my name is Joe. If you're new here, I review all of your favorite TV shows on my channel and Patreon. Today we're going to be predicting who lives and who dies and where they will end up by the end of season 3 of The White Lotus because I'm having so much fun with this season of television. And I have good lungs. Okay, I will be talking about several theories for what I think could happen at the end. What the hell is that shooting? Who could be involved in the shooting as perpetrator and victim? Who could be dying and living? Like some probabilities, because some people I'm like, some people I'm quite sure. Some people I don't know. And I'm so high energy, guys. This is gonna be a weird one. I will have the same order as in my other White Lotus reviews. Weird family, 3 friends, age gap couple, Belinda, lovebirds, and then additionals. Extras, because there's a lot of characters by now. Starting off with the weird family and with Piper, for sure she will be meditating somewhere. I said this in my recent review. She's either going to stay at the monastery or she's going to return to the resort, but baby girl will be meditating. We've already seen a scene where she's really deep in concentration meditating in her room. And we already saw in the beginning of the season, the lady meditating so concentrated that she doesn't hear the gunshots at the beginning. So I think that Piper will be, I kind of think she will be in the hotel, to be honest. But she will be meditating so focused, like to a point that she will not hear the gunshots. She will appear afterwards like, the hell happened here? Something like that. I'll say this, if the show kind of turns Piper's character around and makes her out to be involved in the shooting, to be a perpetrator or something like that, I am going to be so shocked, but I won't even be mad. Because I think her ending is very predictable by this point, and if they turn it like on its head, I will appreciate it very much. But this is my prediction for Piper. Not involved, not a victim, she'll be safe and sound. And actually, I don't think she will leave Thailand. I think she will stay there. Or even if she leaves and goes back home, once she returns for summer, that's it. Because everything is going down with her family back home. The mom, I think, will be okay. Because she probably will be asleep. She doesn't have any knowledge of any guns. She seems aloof most of the time. And even the other danger that I've mentioned many times, the seeds in a smoothie... The suicide smoothie, I don't think mom would even come close to it. Even if it was like left on the counter or something like that, mom would not come close to it. So I think she will be safe, and I think she will be okay at the end because, as I said in my previous review, no way in hell she doesn't come from some type of money. Maybe she's not like filthy rich, but her family has to be comfortable at least. So I think that's going to be her punishment, learning to live as a poor person, which is not even going to be poor. It's going to be like middle class or working class or something. Will not be involved in the shooting, will survive the shooting. As for that, I maintain what I said in my previous review. I think he will look for the gun, if not to off himself and his wife, then once he hears the shooting, he'll remember, oh, I have a gun. He'll go for the gun and he won't find it. I think it's going to be this one. I think he's going to want to off himself. He's not going to have the gun. He's going to remember the seeds, use the blender, do a smoothie, a shake, and just drink it. I think there's a high probability that we will catch a lot of these people mid-action when the shooting starts, in the same way that we caught Zion mid-meditating when it started. So he might be interrupted while he's doing the shake. He might be interrupted just before he drinks it. He might just throw it away, might put it in the counter, but I don't think he's going to go through with it. I think he's going to survive, and I don't even think he's going to be shot. I think he's going to be completely safe, because we've already seen him die, so it wouldn't make sense to see it again. Might be part of the shooting, will survive. Now, Saxon and Locke. I kind of have a weird, strange theory about this because I think there's a chance that the person who does the suicidal smoothie is going to be Saxon. Because Saxon and his dad are going to go to that party, right, on Greg's house. And his dad was kind of almost testing ground with mom about telling her the truth of what's going to happen when they return to the USA. that he's going to be arrested and they're going to lose all their money. And I feel like he's going to tell Saxon. I feel like when they go to the party, he's going to tell Saxon what's happening, and Saxon is going to realize that he has no life when he retires, at least doesn't have the life that he thought he had. Because remember, Saxon is an idiot. He doesn't know how to work. He works for his dad's company, which means he doesn't do anything. And he can't survive in a society where he's not privileged and on daddy's money. So he is going to learn about this, and he already feels a little suicidal, to be honest. He's going to feel even more suicidal. However, Saxon is a very privileged, like, I am the shit kind of person, which his dad is not. So I feel like he wouldn't turn suicidal. I feel like he would turn homicidal. And there's only two people I see him turning this rage against. One is Chelsea for rejecting him, but he doesn't have a gun. The only weapon he will have, Saxon, is the goddamn seeds, if he remembers that they are there, which he might not because he's an idiot. So I think he would try something with the seeds, either against Chelsea or against Locke, but there's no way in hell Chelsea will drink one of those rotten-ass smoothies. But Locke has been drinking them, and as I said in my previous review, I think Locke is partial to, like, talking to his brother and like forgetting it. Like, Locke didn't seem nauseous about it, but Saxon did seem nauseous about it, you know? And I feel like Saxon could use this suicidal smoothie as like a peace offering, a fake peace offering to his brother, and kill Locke like that, and then the intro credits would confirm themselves because Locke would be the body floating in the water. At this point in time, I think that either Tim, Saxon, or Locke could be the body floating in the water. For sure is going to be one of those three. So Locke could be involved in the shooting, could die. I think more likely than not he will die. And Saxon, I don't think he will die either. I think it wouldn't be punishment enough, to be honest, because he's been one of the biggest creeps. The whole season he's been the biggest creep. And to have him die now would be absolutely zero punishment to him. Like, the person who dies has to be someone who comes as a shock, you know, who maybe didn't deserve it or wasn't completely an asshole. It has to be a person where you're like, I understand why you were an asshole and you didn't deserve to die. And I feel like Saxon dying would have a lot more, not Saxon, sorry, I feel like Locke dying would have a lot more impact than Saxon. And I mean, we're talking about the weird family, right? We're talking about the dad with the issues with the FBI. The shooting could be them coming for him. I feel like this is a very plausible idea. I don't know. I don't think they would just shoot with, like, civilians around, with innocent people around. But I mean, it's the FBI. It's the American police. Who knows what they will do? And I don't even understand enough about, like, police in the US to know if they could do that. I mean, surely, right? Surely they could do that, like invade the resort. But also, if it were the American police, wouldn't they be more careful? Wouldn't they send, like, some people dressed as tourists to kind of corner Tim somewhere so they can contain him and arrest him there without putting anyone else in danger? So on one hand, I feel like it could be the police coming for him, but on the other hand, I don't think they would do all that. They wouldn't scare all these tourists. They would be more contained in the way they arrest him. Now, the three friends. To discuss the three friends, I need to get into a crazy-ass theory I have for what's going to happen with the shooting. You see, I think the robbery that we saw early in the season has to be related to this, because I think there's this overall theme with the intro credits and some of the details I've pointed out in my reviews about the whole season of the locals fighting back against the rich white people, tourists who are going there to enjoy their exotic country or whatever. I feel like the final shooting could be like a ploy from a group of employees / locals to kind of rob the resort and, you know, get back on these rich people that just come there to vacation. Because I think that the people involved with the robbery were Valentin and his two friends. While Valentin held the gate open by talking to security guard guy, they came in. I think those are the three people that were involved in the robbery. And I've been thinking that maybe he could have involved other staff members or involved other local people to do something to escalate it, fire some shots into the sky. I don't know, fire some shots into the monkeys. Make people believe that they are in danger, run for safety so they can go around and rob everyone. Rob the store, rob every single hut, go to the safe where all their devices are at. I don't know, something like that. This is one of my crazy theories for what the shooting is this ploy from several different people to just go around and rob the resort and get back at these rich white people. And I feel like if that happens, the three friends, for sure, they will be, doing something. I've kind of went over it in my previous review, what I think they'll be doing. And out of nowhere, a bunch of random people are going to show up trying to rob them. And I think they're going to recognize them. Because I've mentioned before the idea of the snake, right? That in the intro credits, it seems like it's a protective symbol that the women of the resort use against the invading monkeys. And then in the show, snakes always appear as a symbol of danger. The snake choker that Chelsea was looking at, the snake that bit her, then the snake in the tattooed guy, the snake that goes all the way to the down. And I feel like he could reappear as part of the assailants that are assaulting the resort. And I don't think either of the three friends will die, and they probably won't have a gun or won't be able to pick a gun even if they find one. I think they will just be freaked out, robbed, and okay by the end. What I feel like it would be interesting to reveal is their split-second decisions, which one decides to run, which one decides to stay and help the others. And I let's see. I feel like for the three friends, the final resolution could be the end of the friendship. Because I've mentioned this in my intro credit analysis, that I found it strange that the names for the actresses that play friend number 2 and friend number 3 appeared much earlier than the name for the actress who plays friend number 1. I feel like this is going to be the resolution where their friendship breaks and maybe friend number 2 and friend number 3 become closer but distant from the other one. But I feel like none of them have any real thing in common with one another, so I could see how the friendship could completely break. I have covered what I think will happen with Rick in Bangkok, but when he returns, I feel like he will return either in the middle of the shooting or right after, kind of like Piper, he returns with his friend because, Rick has a gun. And his friend, I don't think his friend would bring a gun, but Rick has one. So he potentially could use it if he comes in the middle of it, if he arrives in the resort while the shooting is happening. But I don't feel like that's his thing. I feel like he would show up at the end and run towards his girlfriend and be the final confirmation that he loves her and worries about her and whatever. I don't think either Rick or his friend are going to die. I think both of them are going to survive. However, if he returns before the shooting starts, he could absolutely be one of the shooters, and it could be a scenario where, because there's a lot of guns going around, right? We have Rick's gun, we have a security guard's gun, which he's learning how to use. We have the bodyguard's guns, and that's it. But there's more than one opportunity to use a gun, is what I'm saying. So if someone appears, for whatever reason, maybe it's another robbery, maybe Tim gets his hand on the gun again and starts shooting, and someone else comes out, thinks they're protecting themselves, protecting their loved ones, and starts shooting as well, it could just become a big ass mess. And I could totally see the White Lotus, kind of portraying these people as just a bunch of trigger-happy Americans who hear one shot and are quick to defend nothing because it could be something very innocuous. I mean, as someone pointed out in my comments, it could be someone shooting a monkey gone wild or something like that, and everyone mistakes it for something else and goes ballistic, and anyone who has a gun, which more people could have guns, to be honest, just goes out and uses it. I don't think Rick will die. I think he will survive. About Chelsea, I feel like something has to happen because she's been saying this thing of the third time is the charm, and she had 2 encounters with snakes or 2 encounters with death where she could have died and almost died in one of them. And I kind of would love it if she came face to face with a snake tattoo guy and that was like her third encounter. I think it would be interesting if she had a third encounter with a snake, and that third encounter was the encounter with the guy with the tattoo that goes all the way down. But I can't really imagine any other scenario apart from him being part of the robbery that took place and then redoing it in this ploy from the hotel staff / locals into robbing the resort and robbing other people in it. I feel like Chelsea has a chance to die. Like, I don't want to. I like Chelsea and I like her and Rick together and I want them to be happy. I want them to, I want Chelsea to fulfill this idea introduced to us in the intro where she's the tiger with snake eyes and she realizes the bullshit world that she's inhabiting and she kills the illusion, killing the deer in the introduction, and just stays away from this world completely. And I feel like Rick is in a similar journey because his friend is in a similar journey, right? Realizing that this world of rich people is bullshit and that they don't want any part of it. They just want to be together and be happy. I feel like that's where the best resolution for Chelsea would be, that she and Rick come out of it safe, and instead of them dying, what dies for them is this illusion of the rat race, of the world of rich people where everyone always wants more. Now, Belinda, listen, the whole finale is kind of hanging on where that woman is, but I don't think they would kill her. I don't think they could kill her because we love her so much. That's a stupid argument. No, but I don't think they would kill her. And especially the only reason or the only person who has any reason to harm her is Greg. And I said this in my review, if she's armed and people, because by now people know, like the staff know that Greg was interested in Belinda. Belinda has told her boo, Belinda will tell her son, and it's like, there's no way he will avoid suspicion. And if the crime happens in Thailand, the police in Thailand have to investigate. He won't even be safe from that. So it wouldn't be smart of him to take her out. The only thing I think could happen, like the only thing I could see Greg doing is getting one of them snakes who is poisonous and apparently appear everywhere, getting one of those snakes to bite her. It's the only thing I see him doing. Or, I don't know, being involved in the shooting and paying these people to shoot up a bunch of people to just disguise the true target, Belinda. But I don't know, it doesn't feel like his thing, like, especially when he says, like, I want it out of the rat race. I feel like he's there to stay there and have, like, a chill environment there. I don't think he would want people there to have suspicions about him because he's established in Thailand. I mean, he's been there for a year. He likes where he is. I feel like he's much more about maintaining the peace where he is than creating trouble. So I think he would find another solution. And I mean, Belinda isn't jumping to talk to the police. So I don't think she's a shooter or a victim, and I think she will survive. Zion will be fine. Come on. To me, the best ending for Belinda is for her to get her business on the ground. Now, the lovebirds. I've said it in my review. I don't have much else to say about it. During the shooting, baby boy security guard is going to try to be a hero. Maybe he will see that his girlfriend, the girl he likes is in danger and he will protect her, or he will try to impress her or something like that, he's gonna get himself in trouble. As for the owner and her boo, I'm assuming they won't be returning to the resort before the end of the season, like they will stay in Bangkok, so nothing will happen to them. Greg, I think he will be up in his mansion and will be fine, especially if he's behind it or has a hand in it, he is not going to be there. Chloe will probably be at the resorts, in the swimming pool, something like that. And I don't know, I feel like she has a chance to die, she could be a victim, but this is the thing that I've been saying. I don't think the White Lotus is the kind of show to drop a bunch of bodies. I think they have that one person we see in the beginning of each season, and that's the one person who dies. And my money is still on Locke or Saxon. So I don't think anything's gonna happen to Chloe, and I can totally see how Chloe and Greg stay together, but at the same time, Greg can have literally anyone that he wants because he's rich. So I feel like he could drop her just out of spite from the fact that she cheated on him and move on to someone else. So these are my current theories for what I think is going to happen to them and what I think the shooting might be. Either the American police, which I think is unlikely, a ploy from the people who committed the robbery, plus some staff, maybe locals. Maybe they're shooting up one of the monkeys or several of the monkeys and people just get confused. Maybe it's someone else who starts it and then Rick gets involved and then the security guard gets involved and then it's a mess. But regardless of who starts the shooting and who is behind it, maybe it's Greg. We'll see. Regardless, I don't think that body is going to be there from the shooting. I think that body is going to be there from the goddamn suicidal smoothie. The smoothie with the seeds that maybe Tim prepares, maybe Saxon prepares, but I think Locke is going to drink it. Maybe Saxon drinks it after he finds out he has no job and no brother anymore, because... But yeah, I think the body is either going to be Saxon or Locke, but most definitely, for me, this is what I think is going to happen, is going to be Locke. And this is just inferring from the intro credit scene, which I think is a very easy thing to contradict. The White Lotus could perfectly well be like, ha! You thought just because his name was next to an underwater body in the intro credit scene that is going to be him. You thought that just because his name was there, he was going to be the dead body. Ha! No. We're smarter than that. I feel like the White Lotus could pull one like that and just be someone else. Actually, in the comments, someone said something really interesting, where in the White Lotus season 1, it was a guest killing a staff member. Season 2, it was a local killing a guest, and that it should be a different combination this time. And I feel like it could be guest killing guest. Meaning one of the Ratliff family members killing Locke. Potentially by accident, potentially not. Because Saxon is insane and is going to grow insane the moment he goes to that party with his father, and his father just lays on him everything. Well, this was my quick prediction of what's going to happen to these characters, and in the end of the season, let's see what happens. Potentially I will be wrong about everything. What I want to see is more snakes and more monkeys. And Belinda alive. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. My light is going insane, so I can't record anymore. They need to put more cables up where I am. Anyway guys, I will see you probably tomorrow. I might still be reviewing Happy Face and maybe Good American Family as well. But yeah, I'll see you, well, eventually. Bye guys.